Imagine the thrill of watching a young phenom not just shine, but redefine what's possible in basketball, leading a storied franchise to its very first perfect start in league history. That's the electrifying reality unfolding with Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this rookie sensation truly the next big thing? Or are we witnessing a flash in the pan that's getting overhyped? Stick around, because this story dives deep into a night of grit, glory, and game-changing moments that could spark endless debates among fans. Michael C. Wright, October 31st, 2025, 1:33 a.m. Eastern State Time, previously covered Bears for ESPN.com, played college football at West Texas A&M. San Antonio. In a display of sheer dominance, Victor Wembanyama propelled the San Antonio Spurs to an unprecedented milestone on Thursday evening. The talented forward racked up a game-high 26 points, snatched 18 rebounds, dished out 6 assists, and swatted away 5 blocks, guiding the Spurs to a hard-fought 107-101 victory over the Miami Heat. This triumph marked the team's flawless 5-0 launch to the season, the very first in the franchise's rich NBA legacy. Celebrating their 50th year in the league, the Spurs chose this anniversary to ignite a scorching hot start. "It feels incredible," Wembanyama shared afterward. "This didn't happen by accident. We earned each of those 5 wins through dedication and effort. We kicked off the season with intensity, and our goal is to sustain this momentum as far as we can." The challenge was formidable. The Heat arrived at Frostbank Center, boasting the league's top scoring average of 131.5 points per game, showcasing their offensive firepower. Yet San Antonio clamped down defensively, holding Miami to their lowest output of the season, including a meager 14 points in the third quarter alone. As the game progressed, the Spurs saw their commanding 15-point lead in the final period evaporate, turning into a slim 1-point deficit amid a furious 17-1 Heat surge ignited by Bam Adebayo, who exploded for 12 of his career-high 31 points during that stretch. Undeterred, Wembanyama and his teammates dug deep. The French standout recorded all 5 of his blocks in the second half, with 3 coming in the decisive fourth quarter. In a moment of pure triumph, he let out a mighty roar to the packed arena of 18,702 fans right after slamming to the floor and flexing his muscles with just 14.9 seconds remaining. The Spurs up by 5. In that split second, I sensed we were locking in the win, like adding the final punctuation to a new certain victory, Wembanyama explained. "I was channeling the crowd's energy. It was exhilarating after such a grueling battle, and sharing it with everyone here felt special. I reflected on our 5-0 record, the Spurs' storied past, and felt immense pride in being part of this team." This standout performance against the Heat was Wembanyama's 3rd game ever reaching at least 25 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks, placing him 3rd on the Spurs' all-time list behind legendary Hall of Famers David Robinson with 8 such games and Tim Duncan with 6, as per ESPN research. Currently averaging a jaw-dropping 30.2 points, 14.6 rebounds, and 4.8 blocks, Wembanyama ranks as the 2nd player in NBA annals to hit those marks in the season's opening 5 games since 1973-74, when blocks became an official stat, trailing only Bob McAdoo from 1975. For those new to basketball, think of blocks as those spectacular swats that prevent shots, a skill that highlights defensive prowess and can turn the tide of games. And this is the part most people miss. Wembanyama wasn't flying solo in this nail-biting contest. Second-year guard Stephon Castle, fresh off his NBA Rookie of the Year honors, contributed 21 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 4 steals. while Devin Vassell added 17 points, 9 rebounds, and clutch three-pointers down the line. Honestly, I'm over losing, Vassell admitted, a 2020 first-round pick who hasn't tasted playoff action yet. I've been with the Spurs for ages, and it's been quite the ride. I've watched teams mount comebacks before. Perhaps Coach Mitch Johnson reviews tapes of me not diving for loose balls or chasing those extra possessions. Those tiny efforts make the difference in close games, and that's exactly what we focused on tonight. Beyond their lopsided 33-point blowout of the Dallas Mavericks in the opener, the Spurs have been in several tight scrapes, fighting to hang on to leads in the late stages. Yet, they've consistently outmaneuvered opponents with smart plays in the clutch. Facing Miami is always a battle, regardless, Castle noted. I believe we embrace the challenge, grinding it out and finding ways to secure the win. We built a solid lead in the second half, but they rallied and overtook us. In games like this, you never quit. I'm thrilled we displayed our resilience and determination. Coach Mitch Johnson echoed that pride in his squad, but he especially praised Wembanyama's defensive heroics in the latter half. The 21-year-old logged nearly 40 minutes in what was the Spurs' most physically demanding matchup yet. Their first four foes, the Dallas Mavericks, New Orleans Pelicans, Brooklyn Nets, and Toronto Raptors, combined for a dismal 3-16 record, making the 3-2 Heat their toughest test so far. Wembanyama navigated Miami's aggressive, high-speed style effortlessly, handling their physicality and rapid pace. Post-game, he huddled with teammates during his interview, culminating in a booming "Go Spurs Go" cheer that echoed through the venue. If you check the footage, you'll see the ground he covered, setting screens in pick and rolls and crashing the basket relentlessly, Johnson said. Their tempo is blistering, and the game never slowed down. He was rough on both sides of the court. For him to endure that, even needing a brief rest in the fourth when fatigue hit, and then return to deliver with such consistency and effectiveness, it's truly commendable. Playing 40 minutes at that elite level, impressive doesn't even cover it. Here's where controversy might simmer. Some argue Wembanyama's early season stats are inflated against weaker opponents, questioning if he'll sustain this against elite defenses. Others see him as the savior of a rebuilding Spurs team, potentially turning them into contenders faster than expected. Is the hype justified, or are we setting up for disappointment? What do you think? Will Wembanyama live up to the legends like Duncan and Robinson, or is this just a promising chapter in NBA history? Share your thoughts in the comments. Agree that the Spurs are on the brink of greatness, or disagree and explain why you see red flags ahead?